All right, welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive.
Glad to be back.
We've been getting a lot of questions about this idea of personal authority.
It's such a hot topic these days.
It really is, and I think people get it confused sometimes because they think, oh, it's about
Being in charge.
right, being in charge, bossing people around, or
Having some kind of title.
yeah. But we
I
want
so much deeper than that.
we want to kind of go beyond that today.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be diving into this incredible book called "The Name Is Escaping Me, But Our Expert Has It."
Dartaryatma by this Iranian mystic seeker, Ghulam Reza Rashidi.
Yes, perfect.
An amazing book.
It's all about self-discovery and cultivating that real personal authority, that inner strength.
Yeah.
And I love that this is about empowering you, not about trying to control other people.
Mm-hmm. It's about recognizing that true authority starts within.
Yes.
It's not something that's given to you. It's not external, it's internal. And then from that place of inner authority, that's when it impacts how you interact with the world, how you make choices, how you respond to situations, to people.
Yeah. And one of the first things that really struck me when I was reading this was how it all starts with humility.
Yes.
Which seems so counterintuitive, right? You think personal authority,
Yeah, you'd think ego.
Yeah.
You'd think, being the loudest person in the room.
Right.
But this source emphasizes that it's really the opposite.
Totally.
It's about, there's this beautiful image that Rashidi uses of lowering your head.
Oh, I love that.
And moving forward, right? Like there's this recognition that there's a larger force at play, a wisdom beyond our own.
A greater purpose.
Yeah. And it's about aligning ourselves with that.
Yes. And so I really want to underline that because I think some people might hear that and be like, oh, so it's about being passive.
Right. Just letting things happen to you. And it's not about that.
No, it's not about being a doormat.
It's about recognizing that greater purpose and then
aligning yourself.
Yeah, working in harmony with it.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious, what would be an example of that kind of action in our daily lives?
There's this great story in the book about a student who was struggling with a difficult colleague.
Oh, we all have those.
Right. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to change that person's behavior.
Which we so often want to do, right? Like,
oh, I know.
If they would just, get it together.
Yeah.
But this student instead focused on their own reactions, on their own responses, and just chose calmness over frustration.
Yeah. And that's such a subtle shift, but such a powerful one.
Powerful.
Because it's that internal choice.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what influenced the whole dynamic between them. So that's so powerful because in a way, what you're saying is that the most powerful way to kind of influence others is to focus on your own growth.
Absolutely. Rashidi actually says their education or transformation is not your responsibility.
Okay, so I'm just going to say, phew, what a relief, right? That we don't have to fix everybody.
We don't have to carry that weight.
Yeah.
We can focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like a ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
When you focus on your own development, it naturally influences the people around you.
Totally. Okay, so that makes total sense. But what about, I think we've all experienced those energy drainers in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Those people who just, you spend 5 minutes with them and you're like, I need a nap.
I need a week-long vacation.
So how do you deal with those folks without, kind of losing your own center?
That's such a good question. And, Rashidi has this really fascinating perspective on this. He suggests simply acknowledging them, but not engaging in any kind of conflict.
Okay, so I'm trying to wrap my head around that because isn't ignoring them a kind of conflict avoidance?
Yeah, so it's not about ignoring them, it's about recognizing their presence.
Okay.
But choosing not to engage in that back and forth.
Okay.
He even says they will suffer more from this lack of confrontation than you can imagine.
So it's about and again, this goes back to that not being passive, right?
Well,
because you are making a choice.
You're making a conscious choice to not feed their negativity.
Yes.
Right? You're not giving them the power to dictate your emotional state.
So it's almost like taking away their power by not giving them the reaction they expect.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's powerful. I like that.
It's like they're throwing all this stuff at you and you're just like...
It's bouncing off.
Yeah, and it goes right back to them.
Now this this makes me think about something else that Rashidi talks about in the book, and that's this idea of flawless behavior.
Oh, I love that concept.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not planned. It's not like something you try to do. It's just this natural kind of effortless expression of inner authority.
Right. And it's so interesting because he uses this term, acts of authority.
Yeah. And it made me think about a time, and this is going to sound very mundane, but I had to make a really difficult decision at work.
Mm-hmm.
And everything in me just wanted to avoid it, just kind of put it off.
Procrastinate.
But I knew it was the right thing to do. And the moment I made that decision, it was still really hard.
Right.
It was like this weight lifted. And it was like, oh, okay, that's what that feels like.
And that's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
It's like in that moment, you tapped into your inner authority.
Yeah.
And that's what gave you the clarity and the strength to act, even though it was difficult.
I love that.
Right. And that's such a beautiful example, I think, of what Rashidi's talking about.
Yeah. Now, one of the most kind of thought-provoking ideas in the book is this connection that he makes between authority and meaning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to read this quote here because it's a bit of a head-scratcher, but he says, meaning seeking nothing and manifesting in infinite and novel forms.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good one to sit with.
It's a lot.
What resonates with me there is this idea that true authority doesn't seek external validation. It just is.
Okay.
Right? Like it's not trying to prove anything. It's not trying to get anything.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. And from that beingness, it can express itself in limitless ways.
Okay, so I think I'm tracking with you. So it's not about, chasing meaning or
Trying to find it.
But it's just about being open to it.
Yeah, it's about being open to the flow of life and allowing meaning to unfold naturally.
So if we kind of tie all of these ideas together, it seems like this personal authority that we're talking about, it's really about aligning yourself with that deeper purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that place of alignment, acting with that inner strength and humility.
And it's not about forcing things to happen.
No.
It's about creating the conditions where they can unfold.
Yeah. So what part of all of this that we've been talking about?
What resonated?
Yeah. Resonated most with you?
Yeah.
And what's one way, even just a small way?
A baby step.
A baby step that you can start cultivating this in your own life.
Food for thought.
Food for thought.
As we go about our day.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
See